All right, let's get right into it. We're going to explore a pattern that is, well, as old as history itself, but it always feels incredibly personal. It's this really unsettling idea that the very people, the systems, the powers we count on for help can sometimes become the very source of our downfall. The helper becomes the harmer.
I mean, who hasn't, right? Whether it's in our own families, at work, or with friends, that sting of betrayal from someone you trusted, it's a universal feeling. And it's that exact feeling we're going to unpack today, through a few really powerful stories.
And we're going to start small, with a simple, modern little story. It might seem like it's just about cookies, but trust me, it perfectly captures the big idea we're talking about.
So, picture this. You've got a sister, Xiao Fan, who needs a hand. Her brother, Xiao Ping, is taller and can reach the prize, a jar of cookies way up on a high shelf. It's a classic sibling moment, right? Built on simple trust. Xiao Ping says yes, but only if she keeps another secret of his. So they make a deal.
But then, Mom comes home, and when she finds out what happened, Xiaoping just crumbles under the pressure. To save his own skin, he throws his sister completely under the bus. He tells their mom it was all her idea, that he barely even wanted to do it. He totally breaks their deal. The helper just became the accuser.
And right there, that's our whole theme in a nutshell. Xiao Fan learned a tough lesson. The person she relied on betrayed her just to protect himself. His self-preservation was way more important than his promise. This little drama over cookies, it's like a miniature version of a pattern that we see repeated on a much, much bigger stage.
So now, let's watch this same dynamic, the helper who harms, play out on a scale that is way, way bigger. We're jumping from a family kitchen to the battlefields of ancient China, where the stakes are literally life and death.
Okay, so Han Xin was one of the most brilliant military minds in Chinese history, a real genius. But his career would have gone nowhere without his mentor, a man named Xiao He. Xiao He was the one who spotted his talent, who vouched for him, and who got him a position of real power. He was Han Xin's ultimate helper, his champion.
Now, what's so amazing is that the relationship became so legendary it actually created this famous saying. It literally means success because of Xiao He, failure because of Xiao He. It just perfectly captures this idea that the very same person can be the source of your greatest rise and your most devastating fall.
And here is the tragic twist. After the war was won, the emperor got really paranoid about Han Xin's power and influence. And guess who he used to lure Han Xin into a trap to have him killed? His trusted mentor, Xiao He. The man who made Han Xin's success story possible was the exact same man who orchestrated his death. The helper became the executioner.
You see, this theme of the helper who harms, of success and failure from the same source, it's not just some old story. It is the central drama of the text we're looking at today, Isaiah chapter 20. Only this time, the whole thing plays out between entire nations.
Okay, to really get what's happening, you need to know the players on the board. You've got Assyria. They're the reigning superpower, the big boss, calling the shots. Then you've got Egypt, the challenger, always poking the bear and trying to stir up trouble. And then caught right in the middle are these smaller states like Ashdod, who just want to be independent, and Judah, who's kind of watching from the sidelines, just trying to survive.
So, Egypt, the challenger, starts whispering in Ashdod's ear, "Hey, you should rebel against Assyria. We've got your back. We'll send our army." They position themselves as the ultimate helper. So Ashdod takes the bait, they rebel, and they get absolutely crushed by the Assyrian war machine. So what does their powerful ally Egypt do? When the king of Ashdod flees to Egypt for safety, Egypt turns right around and hands him over to Assyria. They didn't just fail to help, they actively betrayed their ally.
Now, this stunning act of betrayal is the backdrop for one of the most bizarre and frankly shocking prophetic acts in the entire Bible. This is where the story gets really, really weird. God gives the prophet Isaiah this unbelievable command. He doesn't tell him to write something down or give a big speech. No, he tells him to perform a public, physical act. He tells him to take off his prophetic robes, his sackcloth, and even take the sandals off his feet.
And he was told to do this for 3
years. For 3 straight years, the prophet Isaiah walked around naked and barefoot as a living, breathing object lesson. Can you even imagine the scandal, the gossip? This wasn't just a one-time stunt. It was a long-term, public demonstration of something huge.
So what on earth did it mean? Well, it was a symbolic act. Isaiah basically became a walking billboard for the future. He was showing the people of Judah exactly what was going to happen to their supposed helper, Egypt. Just as Isaiah was stripped bare and humiliated, the Egyptians would be captured by Assyria and marched away as prisoners, stripped, shamed, and totally powerless. The message was crystal clear. If you put your trust in Egypt, you will end up sharing in its shame.
And this is the moment where this ancient story becomes intensely modern. The warning wasn't just about some empire that disappeared thousands of years ago. No, the source text forces us to turn the question on ourselves.
So what's your Egypt? What's the human power system that you rely on for your ultimate security? Is it your money, your 401k? Is it a particular political party or a government? Maybe it's the promise of technology to solve all our problems. Or the strength of your company? Or maybe it's just your own talent, your own status, your own self-confidence. These are the modern helpers that promise to keep us safe.
The source material has a really powerful name for this kind of misplaced trust. It calls it a fundamental deception, a scam that promises you everything, but in the end, delivers nothing.
I mean, just think about that phrase for a second, the life scam. It's the lie that these worldly powers, wealth, status, human institutions, can give us the deep security and peace that we're all looking for. But just like ancient Egypt, they are fundamentally unreliable. They can't even save themselves, let alone save us. And when a real crisis hits, they often leave us feeling just as exposed and helpless as that captured king.
So the text basically lays out a very stark choice. On one side, you have trust in worldly powers, which the source says will always lead to shame and helplessness in the end. And on the other side, it presents trust in God as the only real way to escape that cycle. Now, this isn't saying that having a job or money is bad. The point the source is making is all about where we place our ultimate trust, our final hope for security and peace.
And it all comes down to this one haunting question from the very end of the chapter. After seeing their helper, Egypt, exposed as weak and shameful, the people ask this question. Look, the one we hoped in is just like this. How then shall we escape? It's a question that just hangs there in the air, forcing us to look at our own lives. If the things we trust in are ultimately just as fragile as we are, where does our real hope come from?